Good evening. I will call to order the meeting of the Chautauqua County Legislature on December 17th, 2025. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Anthony.
Here.
Mr. Binkowski.
Here.
Mr. Buchanan.
Here.
Mr. Carl.
Here.
Mrs. Dickey.
Here.
Mrs. Gustafson.
Here.
Mr. Harmon.
Here.
Mr. Heiser.
Here.
Mr. Johnson.
Here.
Mr. Landy.
Here.
Mr. Larson.
Here.
Mr. Nelson.
Here.
Mr. Nebel.
Here.
Mr. Pavlak.
Here.
Mr. Penhollow.
Here.
Mr. Proctor.
Here.
Mr. Scudder.
Here.
Ms. Vanstrom. Chairman Shagnon.
Here.
Okay, there are 19 members present. There is quorum.
Thank you. And at this time, we will have the prayer and pledge of allegiance by Legislator Harmon.
Jesus, you were born in a little town. You grew up under the authority of local leaders and officials who manage the majority of your daily life. We lift up our local leaders today. We pray for our mayors, city councils, city commissioners, fire police chiefs, judges, and all who serve our local communities. Strengthen them with the wisdom and grace for the heavy burdens they carry. May they manage their teams and projects with love. Please keep their hearts pure and their eyes turned towards your face as they work in the best interests of the people they also serve. And also too, please keep in thoughts and prayers for the horrendous shootings at Brown University and in Australia, just for the families. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And that on our agenda brings us to approval of the minutes of our November 19th, 2025 meeting of the Legislature.
Make a motion to approve?
We have a motion to approve by Legislator Bankowski and a
And a
second
second.
by Legislator Gustafson. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And that brings us then to our first privilege of the floor. Members of the public may comment on any subject relating to any local law, resolution, or motion appearing on the agenda. Individual comments are limited to 3 minutes, and comments representing a group shall be limited to 5 minutes. Is there anyone wishing to address the first privilege of the floor? Anyone for the first privilege of the floor? Seeing no one, I will close the first privilege of the floor. And that brings us to our first commendation for the evening. We have a commendation by the New York State Sheriff's Association regarding our county jail accreditation. So I would invite the individuals to come down front to our microphone. Good.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. And I'm Peter Keogh. I'm the Executive Director of the New York State Sheriff's Association. And members of the legislature, citizens of Chautauqua County, it's my great pleasure to be here tonight on behalf of all the sheriffs of New York State to recognize and honor your sheriff, Jim Cotrone, and all the men and women of his sheriff's office on the occasion of reaccreditation of the Sheriff's Corrections Division. So less than half of the state's jails have been able to achieve accreditation, so obviously this is no easy accomplishment. And this comes on top of accreditation of the Public Safety Answering Point, the Civil Office, the Court Security Operations, and the Law Enforcement Division, which your Sheriff's Office has earned from the New York State Sheriff's Association and the New York State Law Enforcement Agency Accreditation Council. In short, that is every state level accreditation that's available to it has been earned by your sheriff's office. And your jail health services has also received national accreditation from the Commission on Correctional Health Care. So these are all very significant achievements. And they clearly show the dedication of your sheriff's office and your sheriff to the pursuit of excellence in the services that they provide to the citizens of Chautauqua County. So I hope this occasion serves to remind you of something that you already know, and that is that you have an outstanding sheriff and an outstanding sheriff's office here in Chautauqua County, which have been long recognized as such across the state. And as you know, I'm sure, your sheriff has been chosen by his fellow sheriffs to be the leader of our association this year, and has been serving as president, and we want to thank you for sharing him with us. So we appreciate all that he's done for us this year. He's done a terrific job in a year that's had many challenges. So again, congratulations to Sheriff Quattrone, Under Sheriff Rensel, Warden Stasinski, and all those who work in the Corrections Division and the entire Sheriff's Office for this reaccreditation achievement, which we honor tonight. I think it's particularly important that we do take the time tonight to recognize those who do work in the jail. Corrections officers, to my mind at least, are one of the unsung heroes of the law enforcement system. They spend a large part of their lives locked up behind bars with some of the most dangerous people in our society, and they must protect us from those people. They must protect those people from each other, and they also have to always be mindful that some of the people in their charge are actually innocent, and they also must always be mindful that even the guilty and the innocent are entitled to safe, humane, respectful treatment. I think it's a tough job, unenviable job that we ask these good public servants to do, and to do it right. And obviously here in Chautauqua County, they do it right, as evidenced by this reaccreditation tonight. To gain accreditation requires a sheriff's office submit itself to scrutiny by an outside board of assessors to ascertain whether it meets the many demanding standards and best practices developed by experts in the field of corrections. And I'm happy to report tonight that the Board of Assessors, which reviewed the operations of your Chautauqua County Jail, reported to me that it does meet and in most cases exceeds those very difficult, demanding best standards and practices. So again, congratulations are in order for Sheriff Quattrone and the men and women of his agency. But I also want to say that congratulations are in order for this legislature and for the citizens of Chautauqua County. For without your financial support and your moral support, this achievement tonight and all the good work that's being done by your sheriff's office for the citizens of Chautauqua County just would not be possible. Congratulations again, to all of those who work in the jail. And again, I think that they deserve a lot of credit for the work that they do in a very, very difficult job, and getting more difficult every day with the scrutiny that's unfair scrutiny, I think, that's given to a lot of corrections operations. Accreditation doesn't just happen. It takes a lot of hard work by a lot of people, and again, the entire Sheriff's Office of the Corrections Division deserves to be honored for this achievement tonight. But I want to recognize a couple of individuals who did a great deal of extra work to demonstrate and document that your Sheriff's Office is most deserving of this reaccreditation, which we're presenting tonight. So, if I can get my knee to work. Lieutenant William Genthner, Training Director. Thank you, sir, for all your hard work on this. And Warden Matt Stasinski. Matt, congratulations to you. And again, thank you, Mr. Chairman, for this opportunity to point out all the good work that's being done by your Sheriff's Office for the citizens of your county. And I wanted to now ask the Sheriff to accept this plaque recognizing this achievement on behalf of your agency, Sheriff. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kehoe. This accreditation or reaccreditation, as Peter mentioned, doesn't come easy. The work that Lieutenant Gunther, Warden Stasinski, Lieutenant Cornell, truly the whole staff, without them all working together, we don't get this. We have something in New York State, it's called minimum standards. And I can say that, Chautauqua County Jail goes beyond the minimum standards. We want to provide humane treatment, recognizing the dignity and respect that, every individual deserves. Sometimes it's not always earned, but they all deserve that. So I say that, and it's their hard work. Kathy Burgess, we want to recognize her. She was able to supply all the medical information for the accreditation, but she's really the driver for our accreditation through the health services. So I've often said, I didn't realize there's only less than half of the counties have this accreditation, but the work our corrections officers do isn't always seen. It's difficult and not always well appreciated by those that they're serving, but they are doing their best. And we have to remember that over 90% of the people, probably 95% of the people that are in our jail go back to the same communities that they came from. So our job is to hopefully send them back to their communities better equipped to enter society successfully. So without the work that the warden and the lieutenants and all the staff do, that's not going to be accomplished. So, and I've said this often, we truly, truly appreciate all the support we get from this legislature and this county, and truly the citizens of Chautauqua County who offer us a lot of support. So thank you very much. Yes, he said 4. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. And that was our first commendation for the evening. We also have commendations for 4 of our beloved legislators who will be leaving us after tonight's meeting. So I would invite Legislator Bankoski to come down front to the microphone and make a couple of commendations.
Yeah, I'd like to have, first, I'd like to have Legislator Tom Carl join me, please, and Chairman Shagnon. Office of the County Legislature, Chautauqua County, New York, letter of commendation. Whereas the Honorable Thomas Carl has represented District 4 on the Chautauqua County Legislature from December 18, 2024 through December 31, 2025. And whereas Legislator Carl served on the Chautauqua County Legislature Public Safety Committee during his tenure on the legislature, and whereas Legislator Carl represented Chautauqua County as a member of the Chautauqua County Opportunities Board of Directors, and whereas Legislator Carl is known for his service to his constituents in the village of Fredonia, and
whereas throughout his exemplary service to the county, Legislator Carl has proven to be dedicated and has worked tirelessly to serve the residents of Chautauqua County. Now, therefore, we, Pierre E. Chagnon, Chairman of the Chautauqua County Legislature, and Paul M. Wendell, Jr., Chautauqua County Executive, do hereby recognize and thank Legislator Carl for his dedication and service to Chautauqua County. In witness whereof, we have hereto set our hands and caused the seal of the County of Chautauqua to be affixed the 17th day of December, 2025.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Bob. Thank you.
Thank you for all that. I've made a lot of friends here, and I've learned a lot this last year. Obviously, I didn't accomplish everything that I tried to do this year, but for the most part, I would say it was successful, and hopefully we can go on in the spirit of doing the best we can for the people of the County of Chautauqua. And I would say I'm kind of on this political wheel, and I don't think you've heard the last of me yet, but thank you very much, and Have a great 2026.
Thank you.
Now I'd like to have the Honorable Philip Landy join us down here. Office of the County Legislature, Chautauqua County, New York, Letter of Commendation. Whereas the Honorable Philip Landy has represented District 9 on the Chautauqua County Legislature from January 1, 2024 through December 31, 2025. And whereas Legislator Landy served on the Chautauqua County Legislature Public Safety and Human Services Committees during his tenure on the legislature. And whereas Legislator Landy represented Chautauqua County as a member of the Airport Commission and the Jail Needs Assessment Special Committee. And whereas Legislator Landy is known for his service to his constituents in the city of Jamestown. And
whereas throughout his exemplary service to the county, Legislator Landy has proven to be dedicated and has worked tirelessly to serve the residents of Chautauqua County. Now therefore, we, Pierre E. Chagnon, Chairman of the Chautauqua County Legislature, and Paul M. Wendell Jr., Chautauqua County Executive, do hereby recognize and thank Legislator Landy for his dedication and service to Chautauqua County. In witness whereof, we have hereto set our hands and caused the seal of the County of Chautauqua to be affixed this 17th day of December, 2025. Thank you, buddy.
First of all, I can honestly say it's been an honor and a privilege to serve as a legislator in Chautauqua County. But as life goes, one door is closed, another door opens. And the people that are close to me know what that door is. Pierre, outstanding job as the chair. PJ's not here, outstanding job in all of his department heads. After going through a budget review in October with all of them, they come to work every day with a very sharp pencil. And they bring their A game to work every day. On that note, do good, be good, God bless, and y'all have a Merry Christmas.
And now Legislator Gustafson has a couple more commendations to present.
Office of the County Legislature, Chautauqua County, New York, Letter of Commendation. Tamara, would you please come down? Whereas the Honorable Tamara Dickey has represented District 11 on the Chautauqua County Legislature from September 25th, 2024 through December 31st, and whereas Legislator Dickey served on the Chautauqua County Legislature Planning and Economic Development and Audit and Control Committees during her tenure on the legislature, and whereas Legislator Dickey, known for her service to her constituents in the city of Jamestown, and whereas Legislator Dickey generously shared her financial knowledge and skill to benefit the entire county.
And whereas throughout her exemplary service to the county, Legislator Dickey has proven to be dedicated and has worked tirelessly to serve the residents of Chautauqua County. Now, therefore, we, Pierre E. Chagnon, Chairman of the Chautauqua County Legislature, and Paul M. Wendell Jr., Chautauqua County Executive, do hereby recognize and thank Legislator Dickey for her dedication and service to Chautauqua County. In witness whereof, we have heretofore set our hands and caused the seal of the County of Chautauqua to be affixed this 17th day of December, 2025.
Okay, so I'm just going to thank the whole group. This has been quite a pleasure for me to serve Chautauqua County and the residents and taxpayers here in the District 11 in Jamestown. I want to thank our chairman for having the confidence in me after seeing my resume to appoint me to some very informative committees. And so I have really enjoyed working with each department head and each of you here in the legislature. May God bless you. Do the right thing at the right time.
Legislator Nebel, would you please come forward? Whereas the Honorable Terry Nebel has represented District 5 on the Chautauqua County Legislature from January 1st, 2014 through December 31st, 2025. And whereas Legislator Nebel served on the Chautauqua County Legislature Planning and Economic Development Committee, Audit and Control Committee, as well as the Public Safety Committee during his tenure on the legislature. And whereas Legislator Nebel represented Chautauqua County as a member of multiple boards and commissions, including the 2020 Reapportionment Commission, Jail Needs Assessment Committee, Chautauqua County Historian Advisory Board, the North County Water District Administration Board, and the Chautauqua County Airport Commission. And whereas Legislator Nebel is known for his service to his constituents in Sheridan, Arkwright, Villanova, East Pomfret, and Town of Cherry Creek, and for his dedication to fiscal conservatism, and
whereas throughout his exemplary service to the county, Legislator Nebel has proven to be dedicated and has worked tirelessly to serve the residents of Chautauqua County. Now therefore we, Pierre E. Chagnon, Chairman of the Chautauqua County Legislature, and Paul M. Wendell Jr., Chautauqua County Executive, do hereby recognize and thank Legislator Nebel for his dedication and service to Chautauqua County. In witness whereof, we have hereto set our hands and caused the seal of the County of Chautauqua to be affixed the 17th day of December, 2025. And as long as I've been on the legislature, I've had the honor of serving with this gentleman.
Did you guys make this up? Thanks, Pierre. Thanks, Jamie. Well, look, first of all, I'd like to thank the county department heads. We have some great department heads. They made my job that much easier. We also have a county workforce that's second to none. We have a legislature that works well with the county executive. He's not here, but they do work well with the county executive. Chautauqua County is in a very strong financial position. I think in part because we have a very healthy fund balance. Fund balance. Thank you. Chautauqua County's best years are ahead of it. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Thanks, Jim. Take a shot.
Okay. Okay, that was fun. Now, presentation. We have the pleasure and the honor of a presentation by the Chautauqua County Charter and Code Review Commission, recommendations and proposed amendments to the Chautauqua County Charter and Administrative Code. So we can welcome Steve Abdallah from the commission to make a presentation to us. Steve, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here tonight. Just for the record, I'm Steve Abdallah. I live in the town of Kyantone, and I'm a retired county attorney and served on the Charter and Code Review Commission this past year, along with 9 other individuals I'll name. Kitty Crow, Fred Croscott, John D'Angelo, Michael Falk, Debbie Mikowski, Anna Morgan, Elizabeth Rankin, David Shepard, and Mark Tarbrake. And I believe the legislature has received an executive summary, a memorandum from the commission, and also draft recommended changes from the commission for both the charter and the administrative code. I'm just going to highlight a few things tonight and maybe just give a little bit of historical background. This county, like most upstate counties in upstate New York, had for many decades, and actually almost probably over a century or more, a board of supervisors. And the governing body for the county was made up of the supervisors from the towns in the county and then representatives from the two cities. In the 1960s, a commission was formed to look at the possibility of having the county shift its form of government. And municipal home rule law in New York State allows that option. And a charter was considered and went through different studies and so forth. But it was adopted in 1973 and ratified by the public at a referendum, and we moved to a county charter form of government. 1973, I was a teenager in Jamestown playing Babe Ruth baseball. So I'm not sure if I was paying much attention at that point. But in any event, we ended up with a county legislative body, as we have today, made up of elected legislators, and a elected countywide county executive to serve as the chief executive officer of the county. The charter at that time provided that there would also be an administrative code. And for the first couple decades or more, the administrative code was, along with any amendments to the charter, were adopted by the county legislature via a local law. But in the late 1990s, after a charter commission met, it was decided to, and ratified and adopted by the county legislature, to amend the charter to have the administrative code be promulgated by the county executive and subject to objection or in essence a legislative veto if 2/3 of the county legislature disagreed with the amendments to the code. So at this point, the commission is recommending some amendments to the charter. Those would be amendments that would be adopted by this body and would require a 2/3 vote to be adopted. And also, we're recommending amendments to the administrative code. And those, if accepted, would be promulgated by the county executive and would take effect within 30 days unless the legislature chose to object to any one or more of those amendments. So I'll just, with that segue, highlight a few recommendations that are in the memorandum that was sent to you all. And the first one does relate to the administrative code and relates to budget procedures. As things stand right now, in 2001, there was a local law adopted that established budget procedures and primarily dealt with budget procedures after the tentative budget is presented to the legislature by the county executive. Meanwhile, though, the administrative code has had provisions in it that mostly mirror what's in that local law. But in reviewing the two documents, there was the concern that that was a potential source of confusion or inconsistency, having some budget procedures after the issuance of the tentative budget be in the administrative code and some present in this local law. It's the recommendation of the commission that all budget procedures after the tentative budget has been presented be solely covered by a local law adopted by this county legislature. That procedures, once the budget is in the hands of the legislature, should not be in an administrative code that's promulgated solely by the county executive. So that would also then avoid any potential inconsistencies between the code and the local law. So in the packet of documents that were sent to you is our revisions to that 2001 local law to cover all budget procedures after the budget is in the hands of the legislature. And it would recommend the elimination of any procedures regarding the budget after the tentative budget is issued from the administrative code. And the local law would be the sole place that those procedures would be found. A second item that I'll bring up, highlight, is when the first charter was adopted, it had general language that stated that all functions of county government would be under the oversight of the county executive. But later amendments to the charter in the late 1990s gave more autonomy at that point to the other countywide elected officials, the sheriff, district attorney, county clerk. And for a while, those separate elected officers did issue their own tentative budgets. The county executive did not include the budgets of the county sheriff, clerk, and district attorney in the county executive's tentative budget. That was pulled back, frankly, not too many years after. And other provisions in the charter have been pulled back in terms of that autonomy. And it's not to say that those elected officials, other countywide elected officials, don't have state law independent authority to do, especially the policy of their office, and make the hires in their office. But the commission, in looking at the documents and recalling the history of the original charter, feel that it should be made clear in the charter that the county executive still has authority as really the chief executive officer and chief fiduciary of county government to oversee even other elected official operations. And just to give you examples of where that would play itself out, things such as civil service law, human rights laws, purchasing policy, processing of contracts, fiscal controls, cybersecurity policies. These are the types of things that should be uniform, in the commission's opinion, countywide, and they should be overseen by a county executive pursuant to policies or local laws that might be adopted by this legislature. So that's just a second, it's perhaps somewhat seemingly technical change, but that's, I think, very important to make it clear that all departments of county government, even those overseen by separately elected officials, are still under the purview of the policies and the oversight of the county executive in this county legislature. And the third item that I'll mention from that memo is, and it was a topic of conversation, I know, in this past year, was our provisions governing the legislature establishing goals and objectives for county government to be utilized in the preparation of the tentative budget. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background on that provision. That provision did come in charter amendments in the late 1990s. And it requires that that the county legislature shall adopt on an annual basis goals and objectives and performance measures for those goals and objectives that shall be utilized in the preparation of the tentative budget by the county executive. And it's also provided in the current charter language that the adoption of those goals and objectives by the county legislature shall not be subject to veto by the county executive. So that came in during the 1998 amendments. So at that point, the first county executive where that provision existed, the first county legislature, was after the 1997 elections, and it would have been in 1999 roughly, after the new charter took effect, or amended charter. And at that point in time, it was decided that the way that provision would be addressed was, and County Executive Thomas was actively involved, was to ask each department to prepare goals and objectives for their programs. And those would be presented to the legislature to be adopted at what was at that time called a policy conference. And so the provision in the charter really gave no direction as to what goals and objectives would include or entail and how many there would be. I mean, it could be just one or two, or it could be hundreds. And the way it played out was each department was asked to prepare these goals and objectives, and each department went through an exercise, and there was significant training done for that, whereby they prepared goals and objectives and performance measures department by department, and that's what ended up being given to the legislature. Now, I will say that those were most certainly reviewed by the legislature. I don't believe that there were that many goals and objectives that, at least originally were forthcoming from the legislature itself. They came to the legislature via the departments, each preparing goals and objectives for their department. And it was quite a thick volume. And so a first set of goals and objectives were adopted, and in subsequent years, they were readopted, sometimes with significant changes, but over time, they pretty much, I think both the legislature and the executive were comfortable with those goals and objectives by and large. And so there were fewer and fewer amendments made each year to those goals and objectives, and in some years there were no amendments made. And I looked back in the journals and saw that the last time goals and objectives were adopted were in 2014 for the 2015 budget. So when the Charter Commission met, and knowing there had been discussion about what should be the role of that provision and the goals and objectives, we had several discussions about it, and certainly one model that might kind of reassert itself would be what was done previously, and it certainly would be an eligible possibility, depending on what was desired, to have departmental goals and objectives be adopted by the legislature. But I will say, always in the back of my mind, back in the 1990s and late 90s, and for a while there, I was not county attorney, but I was a legislature's counsel. I would think in my mind about, well, it's pretty open-ended about what goals and objectives could be, and they could be very specific, and they could be very comprehensive. And I gave some examples in the memo. I mean, a goal and objective given to a county executive would be, the tax levy shall not increase by any percentage at all, or shall go down by 2%. And to the extent that the charter currently says that goals and objectives shall be used in the formulation of the budget by the county executive would be, in my mind, obligated to honor that goal and objective adopted by the legislature and create a budget with a percentage decrease or not greater than a certain increase in the levy or whatever it might be. The concern is that if goals and objectives became that, say, fundamental and comprehensive, that depending how active the legislature wanted to get, or aggressive, to use that word, goals and objectives could be adopted without any ability of a county executive to object one way or the other, that would pretty much dictate substantial portions of how the budget would be prepared. And it's the feeling of the commission that when the county chose the county executive form of government and gave the county executive the authority to create the tentative budget, that really the budget should be a partnership between the legislature and the county executive. And certainly there could be debate about what level of power each body should have, and that's certainly something that you all may be considering in the coming months. But it would be our recommendation that the provision providing for the possibility of goals and objectives remain in the charter. However, we are recommending that it be optional on the part of the county legislature. That's another piece of it that you all can discuss. But I think the most important recommendation is that we believe that the goals and objectives and performance measures should be subject to veto by the county executive. And override by this legislature. So how would that play out? I mean, in essence, we calendar this to occur, goals and objectives to be adopted by the end of May, and could be subject to county executive veto and override in the month of June. What I think that accomplishes is this legislature is then actively involved at the beginning of the budget process and can work with the executive on what broad parameters are desired for that budget. There may be agreement, there may not be agreement, but the legislature can put forth those parameters. If the county executive is not in agreement, then the county executive could exercise their veto, but I will say, and it would be subject to override. But I think aside from those, voting aspects, I think a county executive would have to think hard before vetoing what a majority of the legislature has requested as parameters to be utilized in the tentative budget. And should a county executive decide to do that, that's a significant move on their part, which will be subject to, rightfully so, the politics of the day. And I don't say that the word politics in that case is a negative, but it will give the budget process a jump start, if you will. And I think that was part of the potentially original intent of the goals and objectives provision. And so those are the three items I think I'll just highlight on behalf of the commission. There are some other commission members here tonight if they would like to add any comments, or certainly if there are any questions that you'd like to ask tonight, be happy to discuss with you, or potentially at a later date as well.
Okay. Well, thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
And our appreciation to you and the other members of the commission for your hard and dedicated work on this. And I will point out for the audience that these recommendations will be brought forward to the legislature next year in smaller groupings, and they will go through the committee and the legislative process for consideration next year.
One last comment I'll make is, as you know, having received it, the commission, and it benefited from the presence of several department heads on the commission, took the opportunity to really go through the charter and code extensively to really find many, many housekeeping and other updates to really try to bring the documents up to date and reflect the current operations as they are occurring. So that's not as sexy, if you will, as some other things, but it was an important part of the work.
Thank you. Okay. Olivia, take us away.
There are no veto messages from County Executive Wendell from the November 19th, 2025 legislature meeting. There are 5 communications listed on the agenda. If you would like a copy of any of these items, please let our office know.
Legislator Bankowski.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to block 303-25 through 311-25.
Okay, we have a motion to block by legislator Bankowski and a second by legislator Gustafson. Any discussion on the motion to block? Hearing none, all those in favor of blocking, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? They are blocked.
303-25, confirm appointment and reappointments, Airport Commission. 304-25, confirm reappointments, Portland, Pomfret, Dunkirk Sewer District Board. 305-25, confirm reappointments, Parks Commission. 306-25, confirm reappointments, Chautauqua County Office for the Aging Advisory Council. 307-25, confirm appointments, Chautauqua County Community Service Board. 308-25, confirm reappointments, Chautauqua County Planning Board. 309-25, confirm reappointments, Chautauqua County Soil and Water Conservation District Board of Directors. 310-25, confirm reappointments, Conowango Watershed Commission. 311-25, confirm reappointments to the Chautauqua County Agricultural and Farmland Protection Board.
Are there any questions or comments on any of the blocked resolutions 303-25 to 311-25? Any questions or comments on any of them? Hearing none. All those in favor of the blocked resolutions 303-25 through 311-25, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? They are carried.
312-25, confirm transfer of Hangar A at the Chautauqua County Airport, Jamestown, from CCIDA to the county.
Are there any questions or comments on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
313-25, authorize federal and state aid applications for the Chautauqua County Dunkirk Airport 5-year Capital Improvement Plan, ACIP, for fiscal year 2026 through 2030.
Any comments, questions on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
314-25, authorize federal and state aid applications for the Chautauqua County Jamestown Airport 5-year Capital Improvement Plan, ACIP, for fiscal year 2026 through 2030.
Comments or questions on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
315-25, authorize public hearing for lease of restaurant facilities at Chautauqua County Airport, Jamestown Airport to Archie's Airport Diner, LLC.
Are there any comments or discussion on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
316-25, amend 2025 budget to increase the GOB security project budget using interest earnings from the American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA.
Comments or questions on the resolution? Legislator Larson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I apologize for this chair. It's never squeaked like this before. The American Rescue Plan. I was not a member of the legislature at the time of having the ability to influence how President Biden's $26 million, I think it was $26 million to Chautauqua County was spent. My impression, though, is that the county government, legislature, executive, department heads, my impression is that this county spent the $26 million well. And It was a rare circumstance where essentially the Biden administration, support of majority in Congress, gave this money out to municipalities to use their best judgment as to what long-term benefit would be had for their communities, make up their own minds. As I understand it, very few strings were attached. And here tonight, we're still benefiting, heading into 2026, 2027, we're still benefiting in the next legislature from, in this case, interest earnings from the ARPA funds. Never is a long time, but it's a pretty good guess that at least those of us with 7 decades or so on our resumes will never see the federal government send municipalities like Chautauqua County $26 million again and trust us to do the best with it that we determine on our own. So it was a great opportunity, and my impression is that the legislature used that $26 million very, very well. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
317-25, authorize agreement with the town of Sheridan for maintenance of the North Chautauqua County Water District's water tank property on Miller Road in the town of Sheridan, New York.
Any questions or comments on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
318-25, authorize agreement with various towns for court security services, fiscal year 26.
Any questions or comments on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
319-25, authorize agreement with Town of Charlotte for enhanced police protection services, fiscal year 26.
Any comments or discussion on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
320-25, authorize agreements between Chautauqua County Emergency Medical Services, CCEMS, and any city or other municipality within Chautauqua County for the Continuing Medical Education, CME, program.
Are there any questions, any comments on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
321-25, continue agreement with the New York State Department of Health for bathing beach water quality monitoring and notification program.
Any questions or comments on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
322-25, continue agreements with Health Research Incorporated to receive public health emergency preparedness funding.
Any comments? Any questions on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
323-25, authorize memorandum of understanding with New York State Unified Court Systems for technology upgrades to courtrooms.
Any discussion, any questions on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
324-25, authorize acceptance of SFY 2025 through 2026 aid to prosecution funds.
Are there any questions or comments on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
325-25, amend 2026 budget for snowmobile trail development and maintenance grant.
Any questions, any comments on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
326-25, amend 2026 budget countywide resiliency grant.
Are there any comments or questions on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
327-25, amend capital project accounts, Jamestown Community College.
Any comments or questions on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
328-25, amend capital project budget for the Northern Chautauqua Local Waterfront Revitalization Program.
Are there any questions or discussion on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Legislator Bankowski.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to block 329-25 through 333-25.
Okay, we have a motion to block by Legislator Bankowski and a second by Legislator Gustafson. Any discussion on the motion to block resolutions 329-25 through 333-25? Hearing none, all those in favor of blocking, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? They are blocked.
329-25, authorize agreement with the County of Chautauqua Industrial Development Agency for attraction and development of tourism-related businesses. 330-25, authorize agreement with County of Chautauqua Industrial Development Agency for business development, assistance, and promotion. 331-25, authorize agreement with Chautauqua County Region Economic Development Corporation for Greenway Development. 332-25, authorize agreement with Chautauqua Region Economic Development Corporation for tourism development and placemaking. 333-25, authorize agreement with Small Business Development Center at Jamestown Community College.
Are there any comments or questions on any of the blocked resolutions 329 through 333-25? Legislator Larson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My comment really applies to all 5 of these resolutions. At the Economic Development Committee meeting last Wednesday evening, through questioning of the folks in front of us, none of these 5 resolutions which use words such as attraction, development, business development, assistance, promotion. None of them offer any funds for job training. And I am concerned heading into 2026 as a legislator coming back here. I want our Economic Development Committee to explore what is going on with JCC in terms of job training in the North County? What is the future of Job Corps in Casadega? To me, attracting new businesses, retaining businesses, the county and its IDA offering some job training resources on a consistent annual basis is critical. And I supported all 5 of these resolutions in our committee meeting, but the fact is that there really is no money in our $300 million 2026 budget for job training, including there's no money in these 5 resolutions. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments on any of the blocked resolutions? Hearing none, all those in favor of blocked resolutions 329-25 through 333-25, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? They are carried.
334-25, approve SECRA review of 2% in-lake occupancy tax grant program projects for 2026.
Any comments or questions on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
335-25, approve SECRA review of 2% watershed occupancy tax grant program projects for 2026.
Are there any comments or questions on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
336-25, setting the salary for the network security analyst.
Are there any comments or questions on the resolution? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Anthony.
Yes.
Mr. Bankowski.
Yes.
Mr. Buchanan.
Yes.
Mr. Carl.
Yes.
Mrs. Dickey.
Yes.
Mrs. Gustafson.
Yes.
Mr. Harmon.
Yes.
Mr. Heiser.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Landy.
Yes.
Mr. Larson. Mr. Nelson.
Yes.
Mr. Nebel.
Yes.
Mr. Pavlak? Yes. Mr. Penhallow?
Yes.
Mr. Proctor?
Yes.
Mr. Scudder?
Yes.
Ms. Vanstrom? Yes. Chairman Shagnon?
Yes.
There are 19 yes votes. The resolution is adopted.
And that brings us on our agenda to memorials. It's our custom, as we end each year, to look back to the year that we're leaving, and to recognize the individuals who had served on this legislature who unfortunately passed away in this year, 2025. So we have 3 memorials, and I would invite Legislator Penhallow to come down front and present the first memorial.
Thank you, Chairman. We just bow our heads. Today we honor Francis E. Fran Luz, who passed away peacefully on January 1st, 2025, at the age of 92. Born in 1932 to Angelo and Mary Luz, Fran was a lifelong member of the Brockton community and a man whose life was defined by devotion to family, service, and faith. Fran proudly served his country in the United States Air Force from 1950 to 1954 during the Korean War. After returning home, he dedicated more than 3 decades to the village of Brockton as village clerk, earning deep respect for his commitment and reliability. He continued his public service as a Chautauqua County legislator for District 23 for 12 years and spent 30 years supporting local families through his work at Morse Funeral Home. A man of great community spirit, Fran served as chaplain and treasurer of American Legion Post 434, where he offered steady support and compassion to fellow veterans. A graduate of Brockton schools, he remained dedicated to lifelong learning and living with a purpose. Fran's strong Catholic faith was central to his life. As a member of St. Dominic's Church, he served as a Eucharistic minister and was active in the Holy Name Society. He brought kindness and joy wherever he went, whether volunteering, cheering on the New York Yankees or the Buffalo Bills, or just enjoying time with those he loved most. He was preceding death by his wife Sheila, his parents, and his siblings. He is survived by his children, grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren who will carry forward his legacy with love and pride. Francis Fran Luz leaves behind a legacy of service, compassion, unwavering dedication to his family and his community. His memory will be fondly remembered and deeply missed by all who are fortunate to know him. Thank you.
Thank you. And next, we have a memorial for Lance Spicer, presented by Legislator Vanstrom.
Good evening. Today, we remember Lance S. Spicer, who passed away on January 26, 2025, at the age of 81. A lifelong resident of our community, Lance was born in Jamestown in 1943 and was a proud graduate of Falconer High School, Jamestown Community College, and Syracuse University. He went on to serve his country honorably in the United States Navy during the Vietnam War aboard the USS America. Lance's professional life was marked by dedication and service. He worked in business, real estate, for the Salvation Army before founding Spicer Realty, which he operated for nearly 25 years. But he is best remembered for his extraordinary commitment to public service. Beginning in 1977, Lance served the town of Ellicott, and in 1978 was elected to represent Legislative District 9 in the Chautauqua County Legislature. He served in that role for 30 years, including 5 years as chairman. He led and served on numerous committees, boards, and commissions, always focused on improving the quality of life for the residents of his district. His contributions helped advance major projects in transportation, infrastructure, and community development, and he was widely respected for his fairness, accountability, and accessibility. Lance valued strong working relationships, including with the County Workers Union, where he believed that balanced and respectful negotiations benefited everyone. Beyond government service, Lance gave generously of his time to many civic and veterans organizations. He was the past president of the Falconer Rotary Club, a Paul Harris Fellow, a longtime member of several veterans groups, and an active supporter of Jamestown Community College, where he was honored to serve as chairman of the Board of Trustees. Lance was also a lifelong learner, avid reader, lover of news and current events, and someone who always sought to understand the world around him. He enjoyed photography, riding his motorcycle, sharing meaningful conversations with family and friends. Above all, he was a devoted father and grandfather, immensely proud of his daughter and granddaughters. He is survived by his daughters Kristen and Amy and his granddaughters Sophia and Celia, and his companion of 13 years, Mary Lee Lindros. He was preceded in death by his parents and his former wife, Kitty Spicer. Lance will be remembered for his integrity, his work ethic, his honorable service, and his kindness. His legacy of dedication and community will not be forgotten. Thank you.
Thank you. And it is my honor to present a memorial to Richard Clark Babbage. Today we pause to honor and remember the life of Richard Clark Babbage, age 92, of Bemis Point, who passed away peacefully at home on September 26th of this year, surrounded by his loving children. Dick was born on January 9th, 1933 in East Aurora, New York. He graduated from East Aurora High School in 1950, where he served as class president of the senior class, and went on to earn a Bachelor of Science in Education from the University of Buffalo. On December 26, 1953, Dick married the love of his life, Beverly. Together they shared 70 beautiful years of marriage until her passing in February of 2024. Family was at the center of Dick's life, and he leaves behind a legacy of devotion, love, and guidance through his children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, siblings, nieces, and nephews. Dick dedicated more than 30 years to education, beginning his career as a history teacher in Niagara Falls, and after moving his family to Chautauqua Lake, he continued teaching in the Bemis Point Central Schools, serving as audiovisual director, and later as a history teacher at Maple Grove High School. He was a mentor, a storyteller, and a steady presence for generations of students, and one of my favorite teachers. Dick was also deeply committed to public service. He served the village of Bemis Point as a trustee, deputy mayor, and later as mayor. Following his retirement from teaching, he continued his dedication to the community as a Chautauqua County legislator from 1992 through 2011. During his time on the legislature, Dick served on numerous committees, including Personnel and Governmental Affairs, Environmental, Public Works, Human Service, and Administrative Service. He also served as chairman of the Public Facilities Committee, where he was known for his thoughtful leadership, institutional knowledge, and unwavering commitment to responsible governments and the well-being of the county. His service was marked by integrity, diligence, and a genuine care for the people he represented. Beyond his professional and civic life, Dick had a lifelong love of theater, beginning in high school and continuing through college and adulthood. He served as technical director for many school productions and was an actor and supporter of Jamestown Little Theater. Dick found joy in life's simple and meaningful moments, traveling, living by the lake, watching sunsets, gardening, reading, giving village tours to his family, barbecuing chicken for friends and loved ones, enjoying pancakes out, and making his daily visits to the cemetery. He was also a dedicated member of the Bemis Point Methodist Church. Richard Clark Babbage lived a life defined by service, family, faith, and community. His presence, leadership, and kindness will be deeply missed. And ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to our announcements on our agenda. Are there any announcements from the legislators for the good of the order? Any announcements? I understand it's a quiet time of the year. Yes, thank you.
We had two special birthdays yesterday. One was John Penhallow and one was Jamie Gustafson.
Whoa, happy birthday. 2 in 1. Any other announcements? Hearing none, we will move to the second privilege of the floor. Members of the public may comment on any subject. A member of the legislature may speak on any subject. Individual comments are limited to 3 minutes, and comments representing a group shall be limited to 5 minutes. Is there anyone wishing to address the second privilege of the floor?
Hi, good evening. My name is Anthony Todd. I live at 144 Clifton Avenue, Jamestown, New York. I'm making my opinions in part based on media reports. It is our moral duty and obligation to contact all of our federal representatives for continuing economic and military support for Ukraine. Reports state that close to 2 million Russian soldiers have died and massive amount of Russian military equipment has been lost. Putin's propaganda lies are intended to give the West the impression that Russia can continue this war indefinitely. Russia cannot continue to fight a protracted war in Ukraine as long as military support from the U.S. continues. In the Russian-Afghanistan war, Russians-Vietnam, military support from the U.S., blood-dry Russian personnel and equipment, and Russia had to withdraw. With U.S. continued military support, the same thing will happen in Ukraine. At this critical time, don't allow this smokescreen of Putin's lies to steal land from Ukraine, because Russian military has been so depleted that Russia will eventually have to withdraw from this war. Now, regarding the Brown University shooting, when are Americans going to realize that federal agencies bent on destroying the Second Amendment provided an avenue for the shooter to enter an unprotected area, as has been the case historically and recently? There are still criminals embedded in the FBI and other oppressive government agencies masterminding crimes by using millions of our tax dollars. FBI began violating my rights and assaulting me 3 decades ago. When I called the FBI Buffalo to complain, one of their many sick responses to me was, "I'm going to blow your genitals off." I took my taped evidence to then Senator Hillary Clinton's Buffalo office. I was told that this damning evidence against the FBI would be produced on the Senate floor. I was promptly arrested by the FBI, and then I was barred from entering Senator Clinton's Buffalo office. I've been attempting to produce substantial evidence against the FBI to Senators Charles Schumer, Kirsten Gillibrand, and Representative Nick Langworthy, who have refused to examine my evidence. Why won't these representatives examine my evidence? Senator Gillibrand and Representative Langworthy are criminally complicit in the crimes upon myself and need to be prosecuted and jailed for such complicity. Thank you, and I hope everybody has a good holiday.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address the second privilege of the floor? Legislator Larson.
Mr. Chairman, I knew Fran Luss rather well. His 12 years as a legislator from Brockton, Portland, overlapped with the 8 years that I was privileged to serve as county attorney. Fran was obviously well-liked by the people of Brockton, Portland, and he was just a people person, just like me. Everybody loved Fran. Everybody did. There was a 25-member legislature then, and if there was a vote for most lovable legislator, I think Fran would have won every year. Not only was he a great person and so kind, but he was, in addition to being a Yankees fan, as a North County legislator, I had the privilege of sitting with him many times in College Stadium in Jamestown. He was a great fan of minor league New York Penn baseball in Jamestown, and he made that drive from Brockton to come down and enjoy a beautiful summer evening ball game in the great city of Jamestown. I had the privilege of continuing to know him after my time ended as county attorney in 2005. So I thank you for letting me just say some kind words about a great, wonderful man. And the fact that he lived to be 92 and so did Dick Babbage, I find that very encouraging, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Next for the second privilege of the floor.
Good evening. My name is Tammy Shack, a resident of the town of Valerie and the director of Chautauqua Lake Property Owners Association, the CLPOA. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you about the lake once again. The CLPOA's next public meeting, Wetlands Public Meeting number 14, is our 16th and will be held Saturday, January 10th, 2026 from 9:30 to 11 a.m. at the Lawson Center in Bemis Point. We recall seeing Mr. Penhallow at one of our early meetings, and we hope more of you, especially the Lakeside legislators, Mr. Penhallow, Ms. Vanstrom, Ms. Gustafson, Mr. Proctor, and Mr. Shagnon. Along with County Executive Wendell, we invite you to attend this meeting. We promise you will get a valuable perspective on some lake issues that you are not going to get as a county representative. Some of you have referred to the CLPOA as an advocacy group to differentiate us from the three lake maintenance organizations. The Chautauqua Lake and Watershed Management Alliance funds those three with hundreds of thousands of dollars each year and will soon grant 6 Alliance board seats to them. In that context, we do not argue with the advocacy group characterization of the CLPOA. In fact, we and our almost 500 supporters cherish our independence from the county and state funding and DEC, therefore permitting influence and our ability to tell it like it is. The Chautauqua Institution is also an advocacy group, but with a formal fiduciary responsibility to only its property owners and no lake maintenance, but with a strong voice in the county ear. In fact, an institution executive is likely to be soon appointed as an Alliance board member, while new organizations like the CLPOA cannot be members. In any case, the CLPOA board wishes all of you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, and Happy New Year. We hope the new year will bring a significant increase in the legislature's attention to Chautauqua Lake and the existential threat affecting its viability and role as the county's economic engine and cash cow. We hope Lakeside legislators and the county executive take notice of recent county election results and understand that the property owners, year-round and seasonal, expect them to remedy unacceptable lake conditions with a comprehensive plan, strong leadership, effective management, something which has been missing for decades. It's your job to do it. And with that, I thank you all, and I will see you next year.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address the second privilege of the floor? Anyone else? Seeing no one, I will close the second privilege of the floor. And I'm looking for someone to wish us all a happy holidays. And I saw a hand go up down front. And Legislator Bankowski.
I would just like to wish everybody a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas and a motion to adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn, a second by Legislator Gustafson. And all in favor?
Aye.
We're all in favor.